everyone, and welcome to another episode of Taco Bata Tuesday, the show where we eat healthy, delicious tacos and have conversations about life. Where your thoughts go, your energy will flow. That is one of the most famous and notable quotes from Tony Robbins, who is one of my mentors from afar, has been for the last couple of years. And he could not be more spot on. If there's anything that he's taught me, it's that whatever filter I have on my mind for that day, whatever it is that I am choosing to see, that is where my actions, my behaviors, and my overall outcomes will flow to, without a doubt. And so we have to have a firm grip around the mindsets that we navigate our life with every single day, understanding that not every single day is going to be perfect, but that instead that we have the power to shift it. So today we're going to talk about 5 game-changing mind shifts that will help you in life, that will help you in your workouts, in athletics, your job, whatever it is that's important to you, okay? But before we talk about that, let's go ahead and talk about the taco of the week. I have to throw it over to Downshiftology and the creator of Downshiftology, because she is the person that created these healthy, delicious birria tacos. My boyfriend is obsessed with birria, and so I have to make these for him. But guys, this is so good. So I was not the creator of this week. I wanted to give this a shot because it came to me via email. And if you don't already have email alerts from her, when I post this on social media, please go follow her, because her stuff is incredible, from meal prep to the different recipes that she posts for people that are just on a time crunch, that have lives and families and things of that nature. So if you are looking to just up level in your nutrition, but in a way that is fun, which is exactly what my whole taco show is all about, please go follow her. She's absolutely amazing. So that's the recipe this week. Healthy, delicious birria tacos. Go to the show notes before you leave the episode today. Click on the link. Check those out because they are truly awesome. Okay, I'm excited to jump into this one. And what's funny is that I was in my strength class. I teach at Butt Crack of Dawn every Monday and Tuesday. And there was this phrase that came out of my mouth. And I perked up and I was like, whoa, that's game changing. I don't know where that came from in my head, but I just spoke from my heart, and people felt it, and they were like, that resonated. And it helped them push a little bit harder and get through those moments where you're like, I think my body part's going to fall off. I don't know if I could go on, right? So this week, just feeling so inspired by that moment, I wanted to come on and talk about 5 game-changing mind shifts, not just for your workouts or for athletics, but things that I think are very applicable to life, your job, anything that's truly important to you. But before I do that, I want to tell you an insanely real truth. And the truth is that no matter how hard you try, no matter how much personal growth or development work that you do, you will never escape negative thoughts. And I know that you might be looking at me sideways right now, or some of you might be in agreement, but please know that that is never a realistic outcome. There is going to be toxic environments that you are in. There is going to be negativity that you're around. There is going to be some sort of negativity within your thought process for the rest of your life. And that doesn't make you wrong. That doesn't make you bad. That doesn't mean that you are not growing. However, what makes you a true warrior is your ability to shift it from negativity to something different. And this is not my call to optimism, because while I love optimism, I love being happy and joyful, and I feel like that's the way that I want to spend my life. I know that that's not always the state that is the most productive and the most effective. Really what we're looking for is realistic and calling out the facts and being able to trudge through the hard with the right tools and the right mindsets in hand. So that is what today's talk is all about, is when you're in those moments of I just don't know, I don't think that I could go on, I'm feeling really stuck. these are the mind shifts that you can call to really help you move through that and navigate that moment. So I'm excited, and I hope that some of these resonate with you. So 5 of them. The first one is training is your place to fail. I love this one so much because I feel like in training, and I'm not just meaning training as in athletics, although that's kind of where this one came from. I mean like training again in life, training in job, when you're learning something new, learning in general in so many capacities. You have almost like this fear of failure, even in those phases, and the fear of doing it wrong, being embarrassed. I think we all can agree with that, right? And being able to shift your mindset of training is my place to fail, so therefore when it matters most, I know what not to do. I know a million ways not to do it, and I know the one right way to do it. That to me is so important. Today, I just learned for the first time ever overhead squats. And I will tell you, it scared the living poop out of me. And the reason why I learned overhead squats is because I just made it to the semifinals in one of the competition series that I'm doing. It's basically like the CrossFit Games, but like a gym's version of it. And it's so fun. I've had such a blast so far. And one of the workouts that I have to complete in 2 weeks is a barbell complex with a deadlift into a hang clean, into a thruster, into a overhead squat. I have done deadlifts. I literally just learned cleans, both full and power cleans. I've never done a thruster with a barbell, and I have never done an overhead squat in my life. So that's good, knowing that I need to go. I have 5 minutes to figure out what my max weight is and have something over my head while I squat down, like hello, #death and fear, all up the wazoo. However, all that being said, I walked into training today with this mindset of training is my place to fail. I today have the goal to figure out a million ways to fail so that I know how not to do it. Right? So that when it matters in 2 weeks from now, I have the right cues and I have the confidence there with me of A, I know what not to do, and B, I failed so many times to find the right thing that now I know what to do. I know what it feels like when I'm doing it wrong, and therefore here's the cue, here's the adjustment, here's the thing that I need to think of that's going to get me through that lift. And so coming into that today was so empowering. And when people were coming up to me and being like, hey, like, what are you working on? Like, let me help you. I was so open-hearted and so open-minded about it. Like, I learned so many things today about different mobility tactics and like just different cues within the squat and what to look for, what I should feel, how to initiate it. Like, of course I did my research on YouTube and all the things, but like having people there and like being able to be so open-hearted and minded to take in that information, I walked out a much better athlete today and a much better human today because of the mindset of training is my place to fail, and therefore I'm going to learn as much as I can in this environment. So I hope that that inspires you for whatever it is that you're going through to fail a million times and then to fail a million more times after that, and to look at training as your place to fall on your face and to not feel embarrassed, but to feel empowered that you're trying and getting up in the first place. So that is the first mind shift that I hope truly empowers you. The second one, and we hear this one all the time, is I get to, not I have to. Because truly at the end of the day, you don't have to. I could be standing up in the front of the class that you're taking and tell you we're going to do this movement, and you could be like, I'm not going to do it. Can I make you do it? No. Will I be a little bit like, what are you doing here? Yeah, kind of. But like, that's not the point, right? At the end of the day, you do not have to do anything. You don't. You really don't. You could like do nothing this entire lifetime. But how wonderful is it that you are alive, you are awake and breathing and healthy to some capacity today, where you get to take a step forward and live your life today. You get to have these different opportunities that fall into your lap, whether they be a challenge, whether they be something that brings you complete joy. You get to live life and feel a full spectrum of emotions. How freaking special is that? We are one of the only species that gets to live that way. So whether it be something that is not ideal or something that is totally on the other side of that feels amazing, why not say, I get to live through this and learn through this and just be through this. It's so empowering when you say, I get to do this workout today, and no matter what happens, I get to say that I did it. That's one of my favorite things. I did after the weightlifting shenanigans. This was after I taught my strength class, and I did the weightlifting shenanigans, figuring out how to not drop a barbell on my head. And then I did some agility and plyometrics. I did some sprinting ski efforts, and then I did the burpee mountain. And let me tell you, that 16-minute ANRAP felt like freaking 60 minutes. It was, But when I got to that moment, I was like, I get to do this. When I was sitting there like gasping for air and my legs were about to fall off and felt like freaking rocks, I said, I get to do this. I get to do another rep to show myself that I can. So what in your life can you stop saying, I have to go do this, versus I get to go do this today. And therefore, this is the outcomes that are going to attract to me because I'm merely changing my vocabulary and language around the situation. The third mind shift that is completely game changing. And I swear I'm going to get a tattoo of this. I don't have any tattoos yet, but I swear when I turn 30 in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have either one or at least two because I can't decide between one. So why not just get both? Pressure is a privilege. If there is anything that life has taught me, is that pressure is a privilege. And I would say fear is a privilege. I put those two very hand in hand. But every single day that I go into that pain cave and I feel that pressure and I feel that heat, I get so freaking stoked. Because you know why? Because I used to not feel that. You know what I used to feel? I used to feel lethargic. I used to feel complete sadness. I used to sometimes not even feel at all. I would just be numb to the core. And the fact that I get to do these things and put myself in healthy pressure situations through my workouts, through the work that I do, the certifications that I gain, all of the things that I have going on in my life, the fact that I get to put myself in the pressure cooker and watch myself excel, that only tells me that I'm growing. That only tells me that I am choosing to not stay stagnant, that I am choosing to take a step forward. In fact, if you do not feel pressure in your life right now, you are not doing anything. And I don't mean that to be rude, but truly that is your sign that you're standing still, which is a total blast and hit on your joy. Because progress is true happiness, in my opinion. And if you're not making some sort of progress, well, do you know what your answer is? You got to go find some pressure. You got to go find something that's going to make you move. And this isn't unhealthy pressure. This is the good pressure. This isn't the unhealthy pressure that we put ourselves under to be perfect. This is the pressure of, hey, this is something that puts me out of my comfort zone. So therefore, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to show myself that I can and learn all the ways that I can do it and all the ways that aren't possible, right? And there's nothing wrong with either of those outcomes. It's just the fact that I'm showing up in the first place. So anytime that you A, have the choice, or B, that you feel pressure, whether you have the choice to step into pressure or whether you feel it, please always see it as a privilege and the fact that it is a sign that you are moving forward in your life. The fourth one. This is the one that I said in class that everyone was like, I really like that. And I don't know where it came from. It just came from my heart. I said, turn your pain into gratitude. And it's so closely along the lines of everything that I've talked about so far. But guys, that pain, that feeling, that emotion that you have, like when you're like lifting to failure and you're like, oh my God, can you in that moment turn that to gratitude that you were living, that you were breathing, that you were taking step forwards? It completely changes that frown or that like feeling of death into like that smile, right? That lighthearted airiness of just, I can do this. Like I'm here. Like what a freaking gift that I get to do this today. So whether it be I get to, or I think pressure is privilege, or turn pain into gratitude, one of those three, I hope that one of those allows for you to feel more gratitude for the life that you're walking through right now, through the season, through the tough, through the hard that you're walking through right now, through the freaking ridiculous workouts that you have to do every day, whether it's just a 45-minute walk that you don't want to do, or it's mother freaking assault bike or burpee mountain. Okay? Find the gratitude in it. That there is something that on the other side, you're going to be so grateful for that you did it. Versus that what if, that feeling of regret, that feeling of, I could have showed up for myself in this moment, but instead I let pain get the best of me. I walked into the cave and then I walked back out because, well, I was fearful of not feeling my greatest for a couple of minutes. I can tell you those moments that I felt my worst, I walked out feeling the best, being like, hell to the yes. Look at how strong I am. There's nothing that can stop me now. And you have the choice and the ability to experience that every day by turning pain into gratitude. The final mind shift that is absolutely game-changing is go one more. This is from Nick Bare's movement. He is the founder and CEO of Bare Performance Nutrition. I love their products. They're absolutely wonderful. I am not sponsored by them. I'd love to be an athlete for them at some point in my lifetime. But if you're looking for wonderful supplements as an athlete, I would go check them out as a side note. But he started this idea of go one more. And I think that this is one that we have to be careful with because it could be one of the most life-changing things, but also one of the most detrimental things if we take it to the wrong level. Go one more does not mean that you push to the absolute limits every single day to the point where it is unhealthy and it is eating away at your life. And by life, I mean eating away at other parts of your life. Like if you're working as hard as you can in your athletics, but it's eating away at your family and social and relationships, whatever other life outside of that, that is not when go one more is healthy. Okay, this is not a call for more or perfection. This is a call for, I have the opportunity to give this one more shot, to take one more breath, to take one more step for me to show myself that it is possible, that I 100% can. If you were to tell yourself right before you were to give that big speech, go for that big interview, go and do that really nasty workout, what if I could just do one more? Just one more. How much stronger would that make you on the other side? What sort of confidence would you walk away from that specific activity with? That you can therefore look back on when you go to your book of proof, either every single day, before you go to bed at night, before you go compete in a big competition, or that big whatever moment in your life comes that you look back on and say, I can do this because there was that time where I told myself just one more. And I did it. And I showed myself that it was possible. So therefore, I know that this next step in front of me is possible. There are so many opportunities in your day to just, I'm going to go one more. Can I smile at one more person? Can I take that additional step? Can I do just that one little thing that's going to make someone else's day and therefore change the way that my day is going? It doesn't have to be anything astronomical. And again, this isn't coming from an unhealthy mindset. It's just purely coming from what you know is true in your heart, which is just how capable you are and how far you can actually go. Thank you guys so much for showing up for you today, and I really hope that this podcast helped. If it did, please be sure to share it with friends and family that need to hear about these mindset shifts to make in their life day to day, or rate and review the podcast if you have not done so already. But thank you guys. Like I said, you're awesome. I'm so proud of you always, and I'm excited to see what fun topic comes up next week. So stay tuned. See you guys then.